Hey guys, this is CorporatusEU and I'm doing now a request tutorial of tomorrow Untrodden's effects. This is kinda old, but the effects are really simple and there are not a lot of stuff that is going on. Simple effects that make it look great. You need new blue effects to some of these, and then there are a few Sony Vegas like default plugins. Anyways, this is how the project looked like. Anyways, I'm gonna start off with the basic color correction. This is done with New Blue's Film Pro. The same I've done a tutorial how to make your movie look cool. Check the annotation here and it'll explain a lot. But basically what I've done here is added a slight tint, brought the saturation down, brightness down, contrast up a bit, and then added a default diffusion. And this is how the footage looks without the Film Pro. It looks really plain. Let's check a few more clips without the Film Pro. And maybe two of my favorite shots here and the next one. But anyways, let's start off with the lightning and clouds. I had to do a mask here to allow the lightning to go behind actual tower. So what I did is I took two layers. One of them is the layer I want to be beneath, and the other one is the one I want to be above. So then I masked the foreground, like the tower, and then you mask the whole duration of the scene where you want it to be. So I just masked this, and then it's above, and then there's the lightning. It's generated media straight in Sony Vegas. I suppose it was somewhere noise texture, and the lightning I just dragged it in here, and this is how it looks without anything. Then I added a glow to it, just the basic glow. It like translates it to like a bluish color, and then I animated it with the progress in degrees, so it goes and goes back. Nothing else changes, and it's not as cool as it could be. And then there's the cloud. This is how it looks without the clouds, and this is how it looks with the clouds. This is a fog that is in Video Copilot's Action Movie Essentials pack. It's a great pack, you should try getting it if you can. It's good because it like lives throughout the scene, it's not just a static fog. And as you see, I did a mask here, and when I go down it dissolves up in the air. Okay, that's the first scene basically. And then there's this scene, and there's only a rack focus here, and that's a new blue effect too. So what it does is it adds like a blur to the edges, much like I explained in my first video, and it just focuses your attention on the night elf. And when there's this alliance soldier coming in, you don't see him really good, and you just see the night elf. And then this has like starburst. Is there? Yes, there's very slight effect here, but looks like I scrapped most of it. I was just like frapsing like 1 hour or so in Stormwind, just doing camera pans, and then I just imported them in Vegas and checked which fit in where. And this is pretty much just me trying out effects and how do they look. And here's like a small diffusion at the start, because here's the transition, and then there's diffusion added, and I've keyframed it so it like fades away and it does like this glow thing and goes from the previous scene that had quite a lot of white to this scene. This is one of my favorites since I managed to do like a good camera pan, and what I did here is a small like camera pan within Sony Vegas. The actual clip was good too, but it like moves slowly. Keyframe it up, and then when you check the move freely, you can move in Y only, and then it'll move in Y only. It won't move in X-axis at all. So you can use that to create a like a lively movement in a still picture. Same here. This is the actual clip with all my interface and stuff like that, and here's the cropped image. Wait a minute. Where is it now? Where did it go? Okay, there you go. And then move in X-axis only, and then it moves here, like pans over her. There's not anything. And then here too. It's just a camera pan. I've done nothing to it. It has no effects. It's only the Film Pro in the general track effects. And okay, this one took a bit of time. There's a starburst and lens flare, and this is how it looks like without them. And this is how it looks with them. It might lag a bit now, so okay, so it lagged. What I did, I added a starburst to like come between the towers and the arc when I go forward, and I keyframed it to have a bit more strength when I go here, and then I've like configured these to match the screen and the footage. And then because you have like a starburst coming in, I thought why not add a lens flare too, because you'd see a lens flare in a situation like that. It's not anything major, it's like quite a subtle lens flare, and the position moves slightly, as you can see. I keyframed it to move a bit, not much, and the actual specs don't change. It's only the position to like make it move with the footage. The next clip I move it a bit, so because I camera pan down, I don't want to see the ground yet. I'll keep the screen here, and it like focuses greatly on the line. What I did in this is added the same starburst, but this time I wanted to be a bit on the lanterns and to come behind the statue. And this isn't animated at all. It basically works off the footage itself. And this is the scene that's my favorite. You go up these stairs, and then there's the starburst. This is really a simple effect again, starburst and without starburst. And here I've only added as the strength, I mean animated it, and just made it look like it comes from the sky. And you can see like a glint here too on the doorway, and it just works. It's a great plugin. It's a default, and I was supposed to do an effect that would have looked like as if the light came from the windows, like made a glow, but I wasn't able to do that back then. It's like I was supposed to do a diffusion. It didn't work out well, so I just ended up adding a vignette here. This is again a new blue effect, but it would have looked okay without it, but I just wanted to add it. Like focuses on the light part of the screen, and then I just keyframed it so it like started off a bit black on the edges and then goes on and it's lightish. And the next one here, same vignette, nothing else. And here comes another part. I worked so hard on it, and then I actually managed to fuck up the original footage. As you can see here, it like fades before the doorway goes through, but that's because I managed to shake the camera and I have to cut it there because it would look odd if the stairway, I mean the doorway, would just move on its own. And then we come to the last scene of the musical piece, and then we have the same rack focus effect, which focuses on our night elf, and when we go back, the light comes from the dorm district, and basically adding the diffusion. This is real in-game footage. There's no light added, and then you just add the diffusion, and it like slowly creeps through the walls and the ground, and then you have a white screen. And that's pretty much it. Then there's a few scenes here. For example, the shot of Arania on the ground. Again, rack focus. This is without rack focus. This is with rack focus. It makes you focus on the actual character instead of looking somewhere else. And same here with Dark Fox. Without rack focus, with rack focus. And these are, like you can see, using a preset, and then I've just moved the center and a bit played with these. I'm actually quite proud of this shot. It looks good, and there's nothing but chroma key here, and again spotlight and saturation adjust. It like takes the color down a bit. But anyways, I'm gonna go through the spotlight effects later on. I hope you enjoyed this short tutorial / walkthrough, and I should totally be getting back to doing more tutorials about Sony Vegas, but I'm mostly out of ideas, so with your requests I could like do a bit more tutorials. Please feel free to subscribe and check out my Facebook page, CorporatusEU, to stay updated